Hello, this is all about multiples. Fairly short video on this one, just to clear up what multiples are and a few other little bits surrounding multiples on the topic of. So what is a multiple first of all? Well, if we look at the number 2, the multiples of 2 would be anything in the 2 times table. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, goes on and on and on. You could say, 20, 100. All of these numbers are multiples of 2 because they all exist in the 2 times table. So if we wanted to find the first few multiples of, say, the number 13, then we'd just look at the 13 times table, i.e. count in 13. So 13, 26, 39, 52, 65 and so on. So they're all numbers or multiples of the number 13. Okay, so hopefully that clears up what an actual multiple is, which is basically the opposite of factors. Factors and multiples are like, it's almost like thinking about it as add and subtract or multiply and divide. So they are just kind of opposites. So the next thing that we need to look at is what our common multiples are. Okay, so if we wanted to know what common multiples are between, let's say, the number 4 and 7, then all we need to do is think about the multiples of 4 first of all. So if we just write all of these down: 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, and so on and so forth. And then with 7, we'll just write down 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56. There we go, that'll do. So what we're looking at for common multiples are numbers that exist in the multiple list of 4 and the multiple list of 7. So what ones exist in both? Well, hopefully you may have seen already, 28 exists in both. So 28 is a common multiple of 4 and 7 is 28. The next one, if we would have kept going in the 4 times table, we would have come to 56, and 56 is also a common multiple, and we'll get lots and lots of those, because if you think about it, the times tables of certain numbers, they just go on forever and ever, so we can always find more and more multiples of a number, so therefore we'll always find more and more common multiples. So that's what a common multiple is. That in this particular case we said that was between 4 and 7. However, what if we wanted to find the multiples between, let's pick another one, say 8 and let's say 9. In fact, let's say 8 and 10 to start with. So 8, we've got 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72 and 80. And 10, well, hopefully we just know that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 and so on and so forth. So this one's quite an easy one, because we can say, well, we know that 40 would be in it, so anything ending with a 0, 40, 80, the next one would be 120, and so on. So that these numbers here are common multiples. But if we were to write down the common multiples of, let's say, 40, 80, 120, the next one would be 160. You can see there's a pattern arising, which is they're jumping in 40s here. 40 is what we call the LCM, which is the lowest common multiple, and the lowest common multiple is something of interest to mathematicians, and you should understand what the lowest common multiple is, which is basically, as we've just said, list all the common multiples and it's the lowest one. So hopefully that makes a bit of sense. With certain numbers it's quite easy to do. However, what about quite large numbers? So if we've got 24 and 16 and we needed to find the LCM, or the lowest common multiple, how do we do that? Well, there is a bit of a trick to it. Then it's sort of 3 steps really, I guess, to this. The first step is multiply 24 by 16. So if we just go ahead and do this very quickly, 6 times 4, 24. 6 times 2 is 12, add that 2, makes 14. Now we come on to 1 times 4, but first of all we'll put a 0 in here. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2, and then we'll just add these up. So 384 there, okay? So that's the first step. The second step is to find out the highest common factor between 24 and 16. If you've not seen about how to find out the highest common factor, you may want to look at one of the other videos for now. However, we'll just run through it very quickly. It's the factor that goes into 24 and 16, or the highest possible number that divides into them both. Okay, so we're looking at common multiples here, but we need to find the common factor, which is the opposite for 24 and 16. So the highest common factor for 24 and 16 is actually equal to 8, because 8 goes into 16, 8 goes into 24. And that is actually the highest number that goes into them both. Okay, so highest common factor is that. Then the last step, the third step, is to take your 384 that you've already found and divide it by your highest common factor, which is 8 in this case. So we'll just go ahead and do that, but using a bit of long division instead of calculator. So 8 into 3 goes 0. So carry that at 3. 8 into 38 goes... let's see, 4 times, because 8 times by 4 is 32. So that means we've got 6 left over, so we'll put a 6 here. And then 8 into 64 goes 8 times. So the lowest common multiple is as simple as 48. Just to recap, we times them both together. We found the highest common factor between them first, and then we divided the two there, and we found that the lowest common multiple is 48. However, what we could have done is, if we really had lots of time, we could have gone and written down all of the multiples of 24 and then all of the ones at 16, and we would have found it pretty quick because it's 48 in this case. But some examples, some numbers and some questions aren't quite as forgiving as that, and you do need to come up with this or try and use this quicker way of doing it. And I'll just do that for another question, maybe 2. So 6 and 14, we're going to find the lowest common multiple. We'll just do it the other way, the calculation way. So we're going to times 6 by 14. So here we go. 6 times by 4 is 24. 4 carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 2 is 8, so 84. Step 2 was finding the highest common factor. Now if we just look at 6 and 14, the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6. 3 doesn't go into 14, 2 goes into 14, 6 does not go into 14, so the highest common factor is actually 2. So the last step was to divide the 2, so 84 divided by the highest common factor. 2 into 8 goes 4, 2 into 4 goes 2, so the lowest common multiple there is 42. And I'll just draw a line here, and we'll try one more. As I said, this video was short, so we can do a few more examples. 10 and 26 in this case. So first step again, times them together, 260, nice and easy. 10 times 26. Number 2, what goes into 10? 1, 2, 5 and 10. 10 doesn't go into 26. 5 doesn't go into 26, but 2 does. So 2 is therefore the highest common factor. And lastly, as we've done before, we're just going to do 260 divided by 2, 1, 3, 0. Lowest common multiple equals 130. So it is really as easy as that. Once you do a few examples and just sort of go through with this, it's actually reasonably easy to do. Again, if you don't know how to do highest common factor, it can be a bit hard on some of these examples. Then you just need to go and have a look at one of the other videos and have a little practice. Thank you. So here's a single bracket expansion. Are you happy to give that a go? No, actually, it's not quite not quite right. Do you want to give it another go?
Oh, was it 3 times 5 as well?
Yeah, 3 times 5 as well.
So it'd be 6x plus 15.
Yeah, perfect. Well done. That's good.